Hey there, fight friends. Andy Cotterill here at Niagara Top Team in St. Catharines, Ontario, with rising Canadian welterweight Clayton Pye. Clayton is fighting on the Unified MMA card on June 23rd against Mark Mosure, and he's taken some time out before training to speak with us today. Clayton, how you doing?
I'm good, yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So for the longest time, you were 185, you're middleweight coming into mixed martial arts, but you made the fateful decision one day that you had to go down to 170. Tell us to me about that whole process, how that's going, and was it a good decision so far?
Yeah, I think it's been a good decision so far. I did the King of Sparta tournament out in Colorado, and I felt really good at that weight. I think I was probably a little too comfortable at 185, and I had the pounds to shred off of me, and I was still able to keep my strength, so seemed like a no-brainer.
Speaking of the King of Sparta, please tell the fans who don't know what it is, and why it's so impressive that you won the whole thing.
So the King of Sparta tournament is a boxing fight, a kickboxing fight, and then an MMA fight. So
all in one night.
All in one night. You have to win one to move on to the next, So I actually got a bye in the first round because my opponent backed out for the first fight. So I just had to do the kickboxing and the MMA, which obviously was an advantage for me. But the one thing I was most concerned about was the kickboxing, and I went up against a really strong kickboxer, was still able to come out on top, and then went into the MMA fight and demolished.
Now, you have a wrestling background, a very strong wrestling background. For the fight fans who are just being introduced to you right now, could you just take a minute and tell me about your pedigree, like where you trained, what your collegiate background was, and your international competition background?
Yeah, so I trained at Brock University, which is not too far from here at Niagara Top Team. I was a multiple U Sports medalist, two bronze, one silver, and 2 gold. For those of you who don't know what U Sports is, it's basically university nationals. I made Team Canada. I won Olympic trials. I've gotten a silver medal at Pan Am Championships and a bronze medal at Pan Am Championships. So my wrestling caliber is fairly up there, to say the least. Definitely more so than a lot of other MMA fighters in Canada, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, we all know that wrestlers typically have a leg up when they join mixed martial arts. They've got a really strong background. You can control the other person's body. You can decide where the fight's going to be. And that was really evidenced in one of your first fights at Montreal Fight League when we were joking his nickname was going to be It's Raining Man Clayton Pye because you scooped up the guy like 100 times and dropped him. Yeah. Now, you can't do that at the highest levels, probably. Yeah. So tell me about your evolution from being a pure wrestler to a mixed martial artist and where you are right now.
Yeah, so striking's obviously a big thing. You said that wrestlers have a leg up. I can barely get my legs up, so kicking has been something I've been working on a lot, and it's really coming along. I think that I'm a very, very proficient boxer. My kickboxing fight at King of Sparta, I maybe threw like 3 kicks, but I had the upper hand when it came to the hands. So I think that's probably been the biggest part of my game. My jiu-jitsu's already really good, just comes with the kinesthetic awareness of wrestling. And I'm in here. I'm hanging with some real killers in here, striking with them. So I'm looking forward to showcasing that some more.
Speaking of the room and the killers in it, it's currently fight week, UFC 289 on Saturday, BFL 77 on Friday. You can't see the whole room behind me right now, but the mats are full of top-level talent in Canadian MMA. Tell me what it means to have Niagara Top Team as your home gym and your main training support.
I mean, talk about like having, confidence to back up your game, right? Like there's so many guys in here that it's like I'll train with them and I'll hang with them. So every time I step into the ring, it's like, who is this guy? This isn't Aaron Jeffrey. This isn't Mike Malott. This isn't whoever I was training with that day, right? So taking that into consideration and being able to hang with those guys, it gives me a lot of confidence going into my pro debut for sure.
Last question then, or I guess second last question. Unified MMA is coming up in our background, Niagara Falls. Tell me about your preparations, how you're feeling a couple weeks out, and what you expect this fight to bring to you.
I'm feeling hungry, both for the win and for actual sustenance, because obviously the 170 cut isn't super easy, but it's definitely the right choice for me. I'm going to be big. My opponent looks big, but I don't think he has had to deal with the wrestling pressure of somebody my size. So I feel really confident. I feel like high energy. Just wish I could have a few more croissants.
I love croissants, yummy. Okay, last question. Is there anybody you'd like to thank before you go into this fight?
The list is infinite. You know, my team, everybody on it, the coaches, my family, all my sponsors. But I don't think I can just pick out one specific person. Otherwise, we'd be here all day. I'd just be listing them off and off and off. But yeah, definitely have a huge support system here in Niagara. A lot of the businesses on Front Street sponsor me. JC Patisserie, Angio Antiques, Impact Promotions, like the list goes on. I got a new sponsor called Pie Plate, which is fantastic because my last name's Pie, and I've just been waiting for like a pie place to sponsor me. Pizza Jerry's and Oli's. Those are all my sponsors. Obviously, my team. Aaron's been great. Mike Malott is fantastic to train with. Adam Asenza.
Look at the mats and see who's there right now.
Yeah. Bobby, he gave me a little scratch during my camp, but nothing we're not going to bounce back from. So, but yeah, no, all these guys are great. All these guys are awesome.
Well, that's great to hear, Clayton. Thank you so much for speaking with us. I truly appreciate it. There you go, fans. Clayton Pye fighting at Unified MMA 51 Niagara Falls on June 23rd. Make sure you tune in pay-per-view and see this rising star fight again, and have a good one.